According to Mythos, 100% of you are subscribed. Good job.
Hello and welcome to the series where we're going over the lore of every single curio that can be found within Honkai Star Rail. As some of you guys might be able to tell, my voice sounds a little bit funny right now, and I'm guessing it is because of how much I've been reading this past week for these videos, but regardless, it has been a lot of fun, so I genuinely don't regret it. I will need a break after this though. That being said, in this video, we're going to be going over the lore of every single weighted curio that can be found in the Divergent universe, as well as the very few curios that can be found within Herta's unknowable domain. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support in this series. It has been genuinely wonderful, and I've been having a lot of fun interacting with you guys in the comments. And just as a whole, this series has been one of the most fun I think I've ever done. Even if it is just reading, I still enjoy being able to give my input. I enjoy the fact that I'm learning about the game. And as a whole, I'm just happy that you guys have come in this journey with me. So yeah, with that being said, on with the video.
The automated experience. Growing weary of the daily monotony of memory cremation work, Cremator Rama created the Memoria bugs. These minuscule Memoria creatures could consume to multiply and clone themselves. Within a system day, they transformed the trait planet Euro completely, turning it into what was known to all as the Lost World. While the Garden of Recollection managed to exterminate most of the Memoria bugs in time, the escaped clusters became a biological catastrophe rivaling the silicone-eating bacteria. As for Cremator Rama, before he was devoured down to his marrow, he finally experienced the automated engineering that he longed for.
Okay, so I'm not sure if Memoria bugs are the same as memetic viruses, but the idea of these things just exterminating everything is horrifying, especially by the fact that this person got literally devoured alive to the bone. Like, what the hell?
The Bud in the Wind. The sail floats alone under the caress of the cosmic wind. This mechanical web laid out in space was originally the core component of Wen Second's giant generator. It captures the charged particle beams breathed out by stars and converts them to energy that is then transported to the planet. However, everything ended the moment the Lord Ravager Sephiroth arrived. What followed was the fire of a supernova exploding. When the light faded and the Legion left, only a single broken flower showed that history once existed among the now empty dust plains. Chance Jailbreak. Some architects have come to an alternate interpretation about the sound of the Amber Lord's hammering sound. Their greatness lies not in their ability to build defenses for the universe, but in creating prisons for those outside the walls. Following this logic, restlessly constructing the foundation of walls on the surface of every planet is counterproductive, and the true calling of an architect is to seal any potential disasters within high walls for protection preemptively. The awkward thing is that no monsters are foolish enough to simply stand in place and wait for a cage to be constructed. To this day, only 2 bloodthirsty behemoths have been sealed in a gigantic amber prison.
Okay, this curio genuinely has me concerned, because this creature that is trapped inside, I remember seeing it in one of the occurrences, and in that portrait, you see it literally eating stars, or like a sun, meaning these things are ginormous. And like, given the fact that they were eating stars, is this what a Leviathan looks like? Like, now that I like say it out loud, like what how big is this thing? I remember seeing this in the Herta little trailer, the one where she's cooking. So like, I don't know.
Converse of Entropy. You can see the ruins of the Simander Federation on any astral chart, But even the most foolish of navigators would advise you to stay far away from that disorderly land. This collective civilization that worshipped the principles of the decrease of entropy utilized their extremely streamlined lifestyles in order to reduce the rate of their own entropy increase. They harnessed the power of their star system and created an entropy-destroying machine, so as to challenge the laws of the Supreme Destroyer. In actual fact, they were half successful. Their machine endlessly converted entropy into anti-entropy. However, as a cost, the operation of the machine itself caused greater entropy. In just one spin, the machine caused everything within 4 light years to decay and wither. The Cumulous Stake. An atmospheric floating organism herded in the air by the Marito people. After prolonged selective breeding, the taste of their meat is now indistinguishable from normal farmed species. The intense difficulty involved in cooking their meat meant they became an ingredient that frequently appeared in high-end culinary establishments. Based on observations by the Astral Ecology School, these creatures have significant genetic similarities with the Cindaria organisms in Moldrasil. There are even radicals who claim that these animals share a common ancestor with the wing weavers. But this idea faced universal rebuttal from the Interastral Culinary Association.
The delicious Marimo candy. The Colchis established an extremely prosperous sunset dynasty in the rainforest approximately 1000 Amber Eras ago. However, they disappeared within 10 Amber Eras after the beginning of the Ice Age. The fate of the Colchis became a myth that plagued historians for many years due to how bodies of this race have never been unearthed, until a group of hot-headed daredevils following Trailblaze collapsed the species' subterranean royal mausoleum with dynamite. These nameless, trapped in the underground passage, discovered an edible algae species and held on until help arrived thanks to consuming this algae. That was how these delectable algae were introduced to the stars, when people realized that these algae were nothing less than the Colchis. This moss ball became labeled as an invasive species on more than 50 planets. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was disturbing. What do you mean these things are the Colchis? Dignity and passion. The Interastral Peace Corporation has the final right of interpretation regarding mining work in star zones under their possession. Any illegal mining activities will be viewed as acts of blasphemy that interferes with the Amber Lord's wall construction. Great naval rams installed atop the military cruisers will swiftly and directly hammer down toward the culprit, generously displaying the holy visage of Qlipoth to them and rendering the illegal mining ship into scraps. Oswaldo has jokingly stated more than once that the means employed by the Building Material Logistics Department are far more radical than those used by the Marketing Development Department, and that might as well be true. Wait a minute. What? Okay, you mean to tell me that there is a department that is more evil than Oswaldo Schneider in the marketing department? The Divine Visage, an old camera that was purported to have recorded the figure of the beauty, and that was considered a treasure by the mirror holders. It was once auctioned as a commodity on the cosmic dark web, but every auction attracted masked fools who maliciously raised the price until it could not be sold. It was only passed into the hands of the mirror holders after the fools lost their interest in their prank. Pictures had long faded from within this camera by then, but people seemed to still scry that aeon's beauty on the lens, as if they were a sun that scorched the world within the flames of the beauty, leaving behind only eternal imprints. Ah yes, gotta love a curio that just keeps on reminding us that the masked fools are absolute menaces to society. The fact that they willingly were preventing people from getting this camera to the point that the pictures just disappeared is hilarious to me though. The Dreamdive Can. A sweet dream food can from Penacony, planet of festivities. It is full of highly compact gaseous memoria. The user will fall into dreams within 5 minutes after opening the can. The Dreamdive Can was originally a toy in the Cosmos middle-class family bedroom, but became the only way for people to sleep on some planets deep in the mires of war. In the gloomy and depressing mining caves, the survivals fall shiveringly asleep and head into dreams to find the freedom they could not find in reality, just like how it was in the yesteryear in the land of dreams. Okay, so that Curio became so depressing so freaking quickly, and I kind of have to imagine that the only reason these cans ended up in planets full of war is probably because Robin took them there. Robin probably brought some of these so that people could actually be able to sleep. And just the thought of that being the potential lore of how these cans ended there makes me so sad. The end of an altruist. Back when Genius Society member number 77, Puzzle, was not yet a genius, she had previously discovered an alternative form of hyper-distant delivery to the warp jump. This almost magic-like space engine was able to teleport any physical object to their destination in the blink of an eye. The downside was that these objects that appeared from nowhere would cause surrounding materials to expand at an almost infinite rate and cause violent explosions, making them unfit for use in any spaceship. Even so, the IPC still paid an enormous price to purchase the patents from her, to use as an era-defining weapon. The moment this staunch pacifist witnessed these explosions, she became a genius. Okay, legitimately speaking, why do we let the IPC have things? Like, just, oh my god. The IPC literally had a pinpoint bomb, not even a missile. They could just spawn a bomb wherever they wanted and blow everything up. Like, every single time I read these Curios, I'm more concerned about the safety of the entire universe and how the IPC is allowed to have this much power. Excess nutrition. Dr. Atarte invented a nutrition management machine to confront the increasingly dire challenge of obesity. Not only can this machine absorb excess nutrition from its owner and save these calories elsewhere, but it can also filter out the harmless particles in the atmosphere to synthesize food. However, no one expected the consumers would instead gain weight, as the synthesized foods were too efficient and caused the users to keep eating. The overwhelming complaints make Dr. Atarte lose sleep for days at a time, losing a large amount of weight. You know, this Curio sounded so beautiful and lovely, and then they decided to just go, however, like, why? Like, can't we have nice things in this life? First journey. The Mad King, Kali, adores children because they are closest to the essence of the Enigmata themselves. A child closes their storybook and raises the wooden stick in their hand, proclaiming it to be the knight's sword, destined to venture beyond the mountains to vanquish the evil king and seize his territory and treasures. Kali concocts riddles, weaves tales, and fabricates a kingdom made only of children. His purpose remains unknown, but to this day many children still hold high their swords and await the kingdom's gates to swing open for the knights. Genius's Confusion. One day, Genius Society member number 77, Puzzle, suddenly wanted to add something to the cosmic educational efforts. She used a simple force field to weave multidimensional structures such as mini wormholes and imaginary subspace fields in a Klein bottle, hoping to use this educational toy as the first stepping stone to physics for all children in the universe. As expected, this great invention was met with abysmal sales. Evidently, preschool education as conceived by Puzzle, was quite different from the general public's perception of it. This only illustrates that a genius cannot be a genius in every aspect of life. Is it bad that I really want to meet this character? Like, I've read 2 Curios about her, and I want her so badly. Like, what? Like, this character is one I have to meet, and if I like their design, I don't know, I just need this character. The Lapisspeaker's Flakes. Solid-state information flakes exerted from the bodies of Lapisspeakers. These highly intelligent echinodermata-like animals used these solids to record everything, from the broken words of an individual to the history of entire societies. Due to the unique neuronal structures of the Lapisspeakers, the information in the solids can be decrypted by other interstellar civilizations at a relatively low cost. Therefore, they joined the IPC's system many years before the creation of the synesthesia beacon, becoming a key supporting function to cosmic communications. I was gonna re-record this last part, but I feel like I want to show how disappointed I am to just hearing another group helping the IPC and everything that they stand for, I guess. The mock Crimson Moon. Torkirk the Scholar once proposed a bold hypothesis, claiming that the Crimson Moon passed down through generation after generation of Borson warhead is most likely a form of intercellular parasite. Through stimulating their hosts' violent urges and appetites, these parasites continuously ingest the consumed prey's genetic information and complete their own genomic evolution. This continuous evolution of the warhead's own physical capabilities is the external representation of the parasite's evolution. As he was unable to ever provide evidence of the material his research was based on, Torkirk was quickly expelled due to academic misconduct. However, many people still believe that he has been hidden away in a secret laboratory and still continues to work on his insane artificial heart project. Most Raucous. Few creatures can survive in Talius sandstorms, and Basarton lizards are one of them. They can consume the highly radioactive ores on the planet as food and convert it as energy needed for survival. Their excessive energy and aggressiveness make Basarton lizards demonstrate capacities far beyond that of ordinary vehicles. Some deceptive business people even named the species Destructive Mega Lizard, hoping to sell it to newbie Annihilation Gang members for a high price on the black market. As the open air mines gradually became depleted, more Basarton lizards learned to carry their young to the land of the wastelanders to ensure the offspring's survival. That was how Talia's lizard breeding industry was born. Parallel Universe Walkie Talkie. Some of the inventions produced by the Intelligentsia Guild always make people wonder whether the masked fools had infiltrated the guild. An example would be this Parallel Universe Walkie Talkie. Apparently, it can detect the tiny divergences in space-time shifts and establish a relationship between the two closest divergence points, allowing information to be passed between the two. But the only thing the user can hear is their echo from the walkie-talkie. The project manager's Dr. DeWitt indicates that this phenomenon precisely illustrates the high level of similarity between parallel universes, where even the thoughts of the doppelganger would be completely identical. Revitalization 310. Among the various potions offered by the Doctors of Chaos, Revitalization 310 potion probably belongs to the type that is not very safe. Smear it evenly across the forehead, suck on a leaf of the aster plant, and wait for the gel-like material created from a total of 9 ingredients, such as a red feather wolf tooth powder and Denisova worm's stomach acid, to permeate into the cerebral cortex. These bizarre ointments start from the patient's cognition and erase the root of the emotion that may give birth to the nihility. Unfortunately, due to the positive feedback that arises from this cognition adjustment, the ointment became a psychological anesthetic used to escape from reality after it was introduced to the border stars. Until the IPC's intervention, there had been 16 star systems tottering on the verge of destruction due to cognition confusion and pharmacological abuse, and have reverted to oblivion. Okay, this is a 2-for-1 special, because legitimately speaking, every single time I read these, there's always a curio about the Doctors of Chaos or the IPC, and just seeing the fact that the Doctors of Chaos fucked up so hard that they eradicated 16 star systems is horrifying. And I think this is the first curio that I'm reading that the IPC does not look like the bad guys. Of course they had to fix it because they need a universe to operate, but usually I end up hating the IPC, and this one I don't hate them. The Road of Prayers. The mirror holders created all manner of bizarre rituals, all in pursuit of the ideal of beauty in their hearts. To Talorensky, beauty means devotion. He placed the fragments of the mirror of transcendence into a fragile soap bubble, the foam a symbol of his inner thoughts embarking on his pilgrimage. When the bubble bursts from the ardor of the journey, he would return to the garden of his home and reseal the mirror in the bubble. Each time he would return, and each time he would depart, never stepping foot on the home planet to this day. But to those who asked, he would resolutely mention his destination, where Idrilla, the Aeon of Beauty, fell, the consternation star zone, Lafcadio. Okay, wait, this is actually super interesting. I'm not sure, well, we don't really know, but I'm guessing this would be confirmation of where Idrilla was last seen, at least, right? Road to Comets. A gravitational bridge built through projections on spatial structures, judged by the Intelligentsia Guild as one of the 10,000 most useless inventions in the universe. This device was born from a gamble made by the history fictionologist Red-Nosed Old-Timer. He claimed to be able to climb into the sky via lamplight and bet 1/10 of his wealth on it. However, when the distance is too long, walking on the light bridge is no different to a long-distance marathon. Yet, if the distance is too short, the energy consumption needed to maintain the project far exceeds the cost of building a physical bridge. This is indeed an innovative creation, but it's hard to figure out where it should be used. The Silent Song. Among the family's many territories, the home of the Sulank is certainly the quietest. These thought clusters formed by the connection between particles were always considered a huge threat by people due to their bodies and emotions that frequently change between the states of solid, liquid, and gas. However, the arrival of the family changed everything. Their gentle caress brought every particle together in harmonious song. Even those Sulanks, taking the shape of high-energy gas clouds, are able to maintain a solid form for long periods of time. They connected to form a crystal plane, as the resonance between their particles sings silent odes of the harmony, like ice cold stones. As always, the harmony terrifies me. I'm still surprised we haven't seen the darker side of the family, or well, we've seen a little bit of it through Mr. Gopherwood, but I want to go into the mind control aspect or things like that, because being able to freeze creatures into a literal crystal or a stone is horrifying. 10 light years Foresight. With the universe being so vast, there are always bizarre objects flying around, one of them being Ranger's bullets. A nameless Galaxy Ranger spent a fortune on a customized batch of hyper-distant bullets and fire them in all directions in space. No one knows the path that these bullets will take, aside from the Ranger himself. These bullets aimlessly roam the universe, forming a giant, shapeless net. Whenever he drives his prey to a set coordinates, a bullet fired 10 years prior will cross the distance of 10 light years to accurately collide with the prey's skull. These omnipresent bullets are a warning and deterrent to all, to steer clear of wicked deeds. Okay, this is perhaps the most cool Curio lore that I've heard. This guy is so cracked, he just shot his bullets and knew that he was gonna land them like 10 years into the future. What the hell? The story presently. The story presently. A tapestry scroll lingering with the scent of strange ink. The demons sleeping on its paper surface, anticipating the finishing touch of a master painter to be named and awoken. When such an opportunity arrives, he will dot the eyes of every monster, unleashing concrete illusions into reality, exacting the most terrible vengeance on traitors. In the present day, where demon production efficiency ever rises, the hordes in this scroll are no longer urban legends to scare children. Only overworked painters will conjure up such comedies of demonic revenge into fatigued demons. Alright, with that we have covered every single weighted curio that can be found within the Divergent universe. That was a lot, in all honesty. I was surprised by how much there was to read. I feel like this is the place where we had the longest blocks of text that has been found so far within the series. That was really surprising. That being said, it was really cool to be able to learn about some of these curios, and I would love to know down in the comments what your opinions of these are. I wanted to do a quick intermission before we actually move on to the Curios the Unknowable domain, just so it can sink in how little of them they are, given the amount of length this video probably has left. That being said, I'm hoping you all have been enjoying this series. It's really just meant a lot to me as well. So yeah, with that being said, let us continue. Kill that butterfly. The process of annihilating a chaotic system is like making a specimen. Pin the information on every particle on the board and still the wings. Then bind the butterfly's path and make reality dance in the way you want it to. Any tiny change would instantly disintegrate the fragile balance. No matter how much the scholars continue to perfect the model, they could only consider the foolish act of unifying the pattern of movement as the hubris of mortals. Therefore, I still clearly remember the first day I killed the butterfly, even though it was so long ago. I remember how the point of the knife stabbed into its chest. Dear God, that curio became so dark so quickly, and like, I don't know why, it just disturbed me that it suddenly started speaking in first person, so I had to read it as if I was doing it, and I didn't like it. The Metallic Ring Curios. Due to the influence of history fictionologists, the end of Rupert II has always remained enigmatic. Some references wrote that the second emperor's organic body ultimately hindered him from completing the empire's great work, as he died from illness on the cast iron throne. Some poets warbled that a lady in a pastel-colored silk dress sauntered into the capital and the empire collapsed in a cacophony. Other voices lamented that the metallic ring pricked his finger, and so the riotous machine killed the organic before him. Some plays also dramatized that he suddenly expressed his profound feeling and shed human tears as he suddenly became free, then slowly closed his eyes before his subjects, never to open them again. The history fictionologists are so funny because, genuinely speaking, we have been reading all of the lore of these curios, yet what actually confirms that what we're reading is the actual truth. The interastral Big Lotto. How do you make a business model last? After getting rave reviews for their cosmic Big Lotto, the Interastral Peace Corporation's business consolidation department followed Oswaldo Schneider's product vision and put the Interastral Big Lotto on the market, hoping that it would bring them success as well. They even connected 86 complementary industrial production chains and promoted them as a single entity. However, although the Lotto goddess Beatrice Melanine, the IPC wished to develop as their spokesperson for their product, perished due to reasons unknown, the IPC still reaped a windfall of credits in the end. I was really like, when they went. However, I was really hoping this would be one of the times the IPC loses and they no longer make a profit, or this was just like a dent in their wallet, and then it still tells me that the IPC wins. I'm so upset. Resurrection of language. Scholars from the School of Relative Cognition pointed out that the synesthesia beacon's appearance significantly hurt the scope of thought in the universe. The user can only think from their perspective for all eternity and can never truly understand the other party's intention. There are even those who claim that the IPC already has a tight grasp on the beacon's master permissions, and that all you and everyone else here are words that have already been altered. Therefore, they manually created interference events and tried their best to destroy the translation provided by the synesthesia beacon, with the sole aim of letting many languages on the brink of death return to the cosmos. The synesthesia school says that the synesthesia beacon is the Riddler's natural enemy, but the Riddlers claim that the synesthesia beacon are doing an even better job at riddling. You must mess up so badly for your opponents to be telling you that you are doing a better job at causing chaos than they are. The broken cuckoo clock. A cuckoo clock craftsmaster once encountered Terminus. The clock in her hand fell to the ground in her surprise, becoming shattered and broken in Terminus's past. The craftmaster later joined the Omen Vanguard, trying to use cuckoo clocks to interpret Terminus's prophecy. Although she went on to create countless more clocks in her life, she always treasured this broken cuckoo clock. She had already met Terminus when it broke. Terminus had not yet met her when it broke. And yeah, with that, we have covered every single curio that can be found within Honkai Star Rail. Oh my god, this was a lot. I have no idea how much I have read, but like taking into account, I think this series is gonna be like a total of like 2 hours and a half, but my dyslexic brain struggled so hard reading these over and over and over again because I was like mispronouncing one word, and like I needed to get at least the entire sentence all in one take. So I would just like redo it and redo it and redo it. I feel like I must have spoken like 12 hours, and out of that only like 2 hours and a half are being actually recorded. That being said, this has been a lot of fun. This has been great. I have enjoyed my time here, and I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed it as well. At the time of recording this, we have reached nearly 3,750 subscribers, which blows my mind away. You all are crazy, but I'm so happy and so thankful to have you guys in here. You all make this experience feel worthwhile, and yeah, I'm just grateful for the community that we have built, and that we're all here discussing lore, talking about like potential things, realizing how disturbing some of these are. Someone said that these curios really are just SCPs in Honkai Star Rail, and honestly, they really are. But you know, I just had so much fun creating this, and I appreciate you all. So with all that being said, I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time zone applies to you at the time of watching this video. And we'll continue this series when Star Rail releases more Curios, I guess. Bye-bye.